Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Ministers of State, heads of government agencies, and the distinguished members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. HE, the President, is going to give us, or to give an address to the nation in as far as registration under the National Identity Card Project is concerned. So without taking much time, Your Excellency, I take the honor and privilege to invite you to address the nation. I thank you so much.
Countrymen and countrywomen, I greet you and wish you good luck in the Easter season. On this occasion, I'm here to address you on the question of the importance of each one of us having digitized identity cards, meaning a computerized and computer-read identity card. This is very different from the usual identity cards issued by a multiplicity of authorities such as schools, employers, government departments, or even those issued by the Department of Immigration. The digitized identity cards are superior and uncomparable for the following reasons. Number one, a digitized identity card is impossible to forge. You cannot forge it. Why? Why can you not forge it? This is because a person's picture, names, biometric details, let's say for instance height, are either on the card or in the computer. If there are too many to be put on the card, they can be put on in the central computer, so that and fingerprints, above all fingerprints, are stored in the computer's central memory. If one, for instance, puts a picture of a person on top of another person's identity card, the computer would reject that card. I know I was very good at making those cards. When I was fighting, I would get a student's card with his name on and put my picture, and then go through these borders of yours in that way. It was because those fellows did not have these cards. If they had these cards, this type of card, they would have arrested us. They would have known that I was a fake. Secondly, all identity cards and details of the individuals are centrally stored in the central computers, while with the usual cards we have been using hitherto, there was no such central memory or records. These cards are properly sealed against water, rain, etc. Later on, these cards can be lifesavers, as they can be made to contain individuals' blood groups. The blood group may not be put on the card, but it can be put in the central memory, somebody's blood group, so that in case you get an accident on the road and you are not able to talk, they send your card to the doctor will put in the computer and find out your blood group, and they can be able to give you the right type of blood without wasting time. Can be made to contain the individual's blood groups, so that in case of accident, the doctors will be assisted to know what type of blood they need to give the patient without much ado. Therefore, a digitized identity card is very reliable, while the other types are not reliable. It is from that reliability of the identity card, which is digitized, that we get the following benefits. Number one, saving lives because of the record of an individual's blood group in the card, so that even if he gets an accident and is not able to talk, those who rescue him, take him or her to the doctor, they can get his or her identity card, put it in the computer, and the central computer memory will tell them what his blood group is. Number two, fraud, impersonation, misrepresentation, etc. will be impossible, because the computer can check in the central memory and find out whether those individuals are the people they say they are or not. Therefore, the idea of ghost teachers, ghost soldiers, and other ghost civil servants will be impossible, because anybody to be paid salary will have to be a truthful employee of that department, unless, of course, the distortion was done at the beginning of the employee registration. Still, this is easy to locate with a physical head count. 3, some people have been serial bank loan defaulters. Somebody gets a loan from Bank A and does not pay. He or she goes to Bank B, gets a loan and does not pay, etc., etc. Yet Bank B does not know that that individual got a loan from Bank A, which he or she did not pay. With these computerized identity cards, All banks will know everybody who defaulted on his or her debt in any bank. So if you go to ask for a loan, they get your card, put it in the machine, in the computer, say, oyo mubbi, oyo munyazi, temuwa sente. The computer would expose you. It will be impossible to conceal the information that you don't pay debts. Number 4, I've already told you about the idea of people's blood group being entered into the identity card, or if not identity card, at least in the central memory, but referring to your card. Later on, people's DNA can also be entered into the central memory system, so that if a criminal attacks somebody or rapes a woman, any part of the criminal's blood or hair or semen that remains on the scene will tell us, once analyzed in a competent laboratory, who the criminal was. This is a very bad card for criminals. Very bad for criminals. The criminals will have a lot of problems. Number 5, knowing who is a citizen of Uganda will be easy, because that one also has been a problem. You don't know who the citizen is. But above all, cheating in elections will be impossible. So here are some of the groups which have been benefiting from this. I know some of the groups which have been benefiting from this. It will be impossible for anybody to engage in multiple registration, to register more than once, or for somebody that is underage to register as a voter. The computer will detect and reject such a person. This will end complaints both in the general elections and in the party primaries. This is very important because it will end the wastage that comes with the elections, petitions, disgruntlement, etc. In the 1962 and 1980 general elections, there had been deliberate efforts to have 40 elections by the law providing for multiple ballot boxes, multiple ballot papers, enclosed polling booth, not counting immediately after polling, and instead transporting all the boxes to the district headquarters many miles away from the polling station, no party agents at the polling station, ad hoc constituencies without fixed boundaries for every elections, etc., etc. As soon as the NRM came into power, all these problems were addressed except the problem of a totally fault-free electoral register. The problem is now being addressed by having a computerized electoral register. I have been hearing people talking about electoral reforms and so on, but really most of the reforms have been done except this one. We had wanted to do this long ago. The problem, however, was the cost, given that to carry out this exercise, the many priorities we had, and given our low revenue base, we couldn't fund it the way we wanted to do at that time. However, in 2009, given the importance of the matter, we decided to move on this subject. By 2010, the effort had started. The effort, however, could not be concluded because at that time, various departments and ministries were working separately. There were different empires. These were immigration, that was an empire by itself, Electoral Commission, another empire, Directorate of Citizenship, National Information Technology Authority, Uganda, NITA, Uganda Registration Services Bureau, Internal Security Organization, Uganda Police, Uganda Prisons, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, Minister of Defense, and Minister of Local Government. All these were not working together. This time they are working together, and I want to thank General Aronda Nyakairuma, the Minister of Internal Affairs, for coordinating them. Therefore, the exercise is going to start tomorrow, Monday, 14th April 2014. The exercise will be conducted at the parish. The registrar at the parish will be the enroller, who will handle the registration kit, and an assistant enroller, citizenship verifiers, who are the parish internal security officer, PISO, the LC1 chairman, and the LC2 chairman in some bigger parishes, local council officials, and the village elder. Each parish team will be equipped with a laptop with a software which comprises of a special camera which takes pictures or photographs and puts them in a format that is of international standard. A fingerprint scanner which scans 4 fingers at a go for quick and accurate identification of individuals. A signature pad for capturing each individual's signature or handwriting. And number 4, a document scanner which scans people's identification documents like birth certificates, passports, voters' cards, etc. The registrars or enrollers will do the following: issue enrollment forms, give guidance on how to fill enrollment guide forms which are part of the enrollment process, and capture the citizens' data on the laptop. In the process of registration, the issue of citizenship will come up. Ugandans are citizens of this country by birth, registration, and naturalization. Article 10 of the Constitution of Uganda says as follows, in quotes: the following persons shall be citizens of Uganda by birth. A, every person born in Uganda, one of whose parents or grandparents is or was a member of any of the indigenous communities existing and residing within the borders of Uganda as at the first day of February 1962. 1926. 1926, somebody, 1926. And set out in the 3rd schedule to this constitution. And B, every person born in or outside Uganda, one of whose parents or grandparents was at the time of the birth of that person a citizen of Uganda by birth. Article 12 talks of citizenship by registration, and it provides that 1, every person born in Uganda, A, at the time of whose birth, 1, neither of his parents or her parents and none of his or her grandparents had diplomatic status in Uganda, and neither of his or her parents and none of his or her grandparents was a refugee in Uganda, and who has lived continuously in Uganda since the 9th day of October 1962, shall, on application, be entitled to be registered as a citizen of Uganda. This simply means that anybody who was in Uganda by the day of the independence in 1962, but whose parents were neither refugees or diplomats, will without any obstacle be given citizenship if he or she applies. Therefore, the only trouble he or she will take will be to apply. Clause 2, A, B, and C of Article 12 also says that the following persons will be given citizenship if they apply. I think we may have to suspend until this rain is over. Let's stop here and you go to where you can hide from the rain, and you come back and we conclude when it is over, because it's coming. Come and some of you are here. If you can visit my group here, you can come. or are entitled to be so if they only bother to apply. Therefore, those involved in the registration process should approach this issue with a positive attitude to help the people who wish to apply for citizenship rather than hindering them. Because I hear that some people try to harass these people. If there is any need for some technicalities of registration, the peasants should be guided by the officials. This computerized registration will finally close this debate. In any case, our indigenous concept of citizenship was not ethnicity, but service to the respective kingdoms. There are two words in Runyankore, okwimura and okwehonga, that governed the issue of citizenship before colonialism. Okwimura meant a phenomenon of a citizen withdrawing allegiance from a king or a chief because of being unhappy with the way he or she was being governed. In Ankole, this person who was not happy with the king would walk up to the king and say to his face the following words: Your Highness, Nyakusinga, that's what they were calling it in that language. I have withdrawn my allegiance from you, Nakwimura. The king had no right to punish him. The only thing he could do was to entice him back by solving his grievances. Having withdrawn allegiance from the previous king or chief, he or she would now go and pledge allegiance to the new king or chief. This was called okwehonjera, to pledge allegiance to the new king. Obviously, the people from the neighboring countries who want to be citizens of Uganda, apart from coming from sister communities or tribes as we call them, prefer to live in Uganda. Is it correct for Uganda to spend so much energy rejecting these people? After all, we are talking of East African integration. As our economy develops, we shall find this population useful. A big population is an advantage. It is because peasants are still fighting over land on account of low level of industrialization that we still experience some tensions in some areas. This is a temporary problem. Our people, the Ugandans, are also going to South Sudan, Congo, Rwanda, etc. to look for opportunities. Why do they go there? Is it bad or good that they do so? I, however, would like also to caution the immigrants they should not make false statements to government officials, claiming to have stayed in Uganda for 10 years or more when they have in fact stayed for less. They should not be allowed to invade forest reserves or grab land illegally. They should say the truth and follow the law in everything. If they do not qualify as citizens, then they can be issued with permits to allow them to stay as long-term residents. Anybody who breaks the law should be held accountable. I thank all of you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
These journalists have chased the rain. Oh. It is called Okwamara in Yankore. Okwamara, to chase the rain. I've always known these journalists to bring bad luck. I thought I was going to get a lot of rain, now it has all gone.
This is an address to the nation, and ordinarily we would not have questions, but because of the importance of the subject of the exercise, we can allow in 3 to 5 questions on this subject. Yes, and then the other one. 5 people have seen so far. Then the third one, the lady there, and then those 3 there and the 2 here.
Ahmed Katerega from Bukedde newspaper. Your Excellency, my interest is on these immigrants from the neighboring communities, some of which it's just the colonial boundary that separates. For example, should people of whom we call Baganda Chaka from Kagera Salient, which I mean at one time had reclaimed, if they are here, should they be automatically registered as Ugandan citizens, just as an example?
Those Baganda Chaka, some of those territories, like that area, part of it was in Buganda, that area you're talking about. Part of it was in Buganda, part of it was in Bunyoro, linked with Kochi, and part of it was in Ankole, that area you're talking about. So, if they are the original inhabitants who are still there, and they were caught by the border, then they are Tanzanians, because you could say that the border cut Banyankore and Banyoro and Bagani into two. Some stayed in Uganda, some stayed on the other side. It is like Bafumbira. Bafumbira are ethnically Banyarwanda. But you cannot say because they are ethnically Banyarwanda, therefore they are citizens of Rwanda. No, you can't say that. So if they stayed there, then they are Tanzanians. If they are the same families. But if they moved from here and they just went there to do work, then they are Ugandans. And for instance, one province of Rwanda called was part of Ankole, but it was put in Rwanda by the colonial borders. Now, it actually was the home of one of the clans, Abagina clan. That was their area. But what happened is that many of them, after colonialism, they shifted, they came to Uganda. So they became Ugandan. They became Banyankore of Uganda by moving. The ones who stayed, after there are some of those fellows who were killed in the genocide, who stayed there. A few of them have now come. So it is interesting. How do you classify them? I think that they're taken as citizens. There was one PPP. Was it PPP? I think this one belongs to the pessimistic. Well, I know, for instance, immunization has done very well. That's why you have multiplied so much. It is now impossible to find anybody. Where was I recently? I was somewhere. I was meeting a delegation from Chivari, where a woman said, my siblings were 8. They all died from measles. I'm the only one who survived. But I now have 8 children. They have now all survived because of immunization. So please, keep your pessimism to yourself. And there will be no, it will be implemented properly. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Your Excellency. I'm Dickens Okello from Voice of Lango. As per your communication, tomorrow this exercise begins. How about our citizens who are out of the country, or the Ugandans who are out of the country, like in Southern Sudan? If you remember, in December when skirmishes started in Southern Sudan, Uganda played a very big role in helping to rescue the citizens of other countries, but our own, it was a big challenge because we didn't have all the documentations about them. What are we going to do to eradicate this in the future? Thank you.
No, whenever, if somebody is away, when he comes back, he goes to the registration office and registers. We shall register the ones who are here, and those who are not here, when they come, they will go to the registration offices.
Tony Geoffrey Owana, UBC. Mine is that 60 days from now, sir, your people will be waiting to see the World Cup. I'm glad to remind you that we have an obligation as national broadcaster to give it to them. And sir, with your usual kindness, we shall appreciate if you give it to us, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think the other time I financed something. I've forgotten what it was.
You did, sir. It was...
Okay. Okay, the Wanyankore say, the elephant never fails to carry its tusks.
Thank you very much, sir.
And let's ask all of them. Put it the whole evening, SEM7 has said this. The parishes are just 2 miles away. All they need tomorrow is to walk, and it will go on for a number of days. It's not one day. 4 months, yes. We have now started. Let them, even if they hadn't had it before, now they have had it today. And anybody can walk. This is at the parish level. It's not even at the sub-county. Anybody can just walk to the parish in the next 4 months and register himself. Bafumbira are they know how to vote very well, because I know the very clever people. They always vote ijana kwijana, as you know. 100 by 100.
Your Excellency, I'm called Mhereza Amon. I work for Inaman Radio and Hunt FM. Sibo abantu abali mu kyalo exercise eno kale tebagimanya ate n'ebibuuzo bingi, so bandetaaze bamanye engero gye banasobola okukola ki ekintu kino okukitambuza musibo
oba bate tebakimanyi kati mbategeezezza. President omulamba yeesowoddeyo n'ajja wano n'ayogera n'abamawulire n'aba radio zonna, mubategeeze nti kaweefube atandika enkya, ate okuwandiika abantu kugenda mu maaso okumala emyezi 4 kumuluka. Even if they didn't know before, now they know.
Your Excellency.
Bwe twagenda mu nsiko twali tetulangiridde, twatandikirawo naye abantu baffe batwegattako.
Your Excellency, I am Cyprian from New Vision. The question I have is, can Southern Sudanese in Uganda and Congolese also turn up at parishes, border parishes where they might be, or even in Rubaga where they are, a good number of them register?
No, if they are South Sudanese here as residents who don't want to become citizens of Uganda, then they stay as residents. But if he migrated and wants to become a citizen, if he turns up tomorrow and he has not yet done it, you can advise, the authorities should advise him, say, please, yes, you have been here long enough, because you hear how to be a citizen. Either you were born here from those groups who were here in 1926. 1926 is important because that's when the final borders of Uganda were made. Because, you know, originally Uganda was going up to to Nakuru, to Naivasha. And then the British took away that part and put it in Kenya. Then I think Kigezi was in Rwanda. They brought it and put it in Uganda. Then West Nile, we are going to celebrate 100 years of West Nile. When West Nile was brought into Uganda. That means it was when? 1914. So they went on playing around with our borders until finally they stopped in 1926. So that's why the Constitution says those tribes which were in Uganda if you belong to those tribes which were in Uganda by 1926, then you are regarded as a citizen by birth. Communities, we use the word communities, but you can also use tribes. For you like tribes, whichever you prefer. And so that's one category. But secondly, if you are not part of those, but you lived here for 20 years before the 1995 Constitution, then you can apply. And the Constitution is very strong. It says, shall be granted citizenship on application. You don't beg. You don't say, please give me. No. Say, I have been here. I've lived from this. I want now to formalize my. And the Constitution says, shall be. Shall be. Shall in law means a must. You go and read those articles. Article 10 of the Constitution, Article 11 and 12. They are very clear. So, in these 4 months, in case somebody has got some issues that, oh, no, okay, you have lived here for a long life, but you have never bothered to register. Then you guide him. Instead of chasing him, you go away. You are not, no. If we find you doing that, because you guide him, say, please, yes, you qualify, but you have never taken the trouble to formalize. You know this Mikoro, like in 1947, I benefited from my father and mother joining Christianity. I got baptism without struggling for it, although I was already old enough to follow, because they were coming from the other religion, the old one. They were coming to this new one. But in 1959, I was confirmed. They laid hands on me. I had to pass some exam. They had to ask me the 10 Commandments. At that time I remembered them, but now I don't remember them very well. The 10 Commandments, then the creed of the Apostles' Creed. It was an examination. So I passed. But although I passed, I was not baptized until this fellow laid his hands on me like that. I had passed, but I was not confirmed until the ceremony. Just words. It's not anything. The actual work I had already done, because I had already crammed the catechismo, I had already crammed the. So it is just omukoro, baptism, just water like that.
Your Excellency Kabushenga from New Vision, could you kindly clarify to the public whether the ID, the identity card, expires? And if it expires, does that also mean that citizenship expires?
No, citizenship does not expire. Can somebody answer that? One of my people. This man who is putting on, don't wear uniform for nothing.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Yeah,
the citizenship cannot expire.
The man is just sitting, I'm the one who's sweating.
Your Excellency, thank you for giving me some work. Now, citizenship cannot expire because, first of all, the most important thing is that when you register as a Ugandan under this exercise, you are going to be given a unique identification number, which you will carry up to the time you cease to be on this earth in Uganda. So you remain with that citizenship, in that way. Now, an identity card may expire because of, purposes of the material, of which it's made, because the technical people will tell you that an identity card, given the material which is available, the best that we have, may not last beyond 10 years, for instance, because then the picture quality will have changed. So many other things, perhaps even some of the biometrics might have started, depreciating. That's why it has an expiry date, not because the citizenship is going to expire. I hope I've answered the question.
Very good. So what expires is the document, but not the citizenship.
Your Excellency, my name is Solomon Serwanja. I work with NTV Uganda. One of the things that you highlighted that the ID will help clear is election malpractice. I want to know from you, the political temperatures are beginning to rise ahead of 2016. In your own view, how will this help sort out the mess? I want to hear from you.
Because you see, in Kampala, I think last time 1 million people had registered, or something like that. People had registered in Kampala. We are 1 million. Now, on the voting day, if you add the votes which I got and what the opposition got, it's not more than 400,000. And I find it impossible that 600,000 people in Kampala had registered but did not come to vote. Because especially for presidential elections, almost everybody turns up. That is the same story with Wakiso. So it seems these registrations, especially for those who don't have enough support in the country, and you know who they are, it seems they really do a lot of paper registration of air to give themselves the room for rigging. And indeed we confirmed some of, because we confirmed, we checked, we counter-checked, and we found there was a lot of over-registration by ghost people who are not there. So that's why this one of the fingerprint, that fingerprint is very dangerous. Because apparently the fingerprints are not replicatable. Everybody has got unique fingerprints. They are the Balamuzi, Okulamura. They're the ones who really sort out this issue for finally. We have tried to use other methods like vigilance, vigilance, what we call voter display. Voter display, you hang the list there so that people come and check to know whether there are people who are not there. But people don't bother. People don't bother to check. The human vigilance is not reliable. They don't bother. So this is going to sort out that issue finally.
Your Excellency, my name is Bahat Remy. I work with NBS Television and KTN Kenya. You in your speech you say
marriage, that he has seen that on the forms there's a provision for marital status. Interfering with people's no, you just write the way you are. If you are not married officially here means wagenda wa DC. Abavuka bangi bonona sente bakola embaga z'amaanyi bapangisa motoka simanyi kye banoonya songa tebalina sente baavu agenda neyewola ebbanja mbw ayagala kukola embaga ey'ekitiibwa ennyo so nga ekyetaagisa mukyala wo abayima babiri ogenda wa DC abantu bana buli muntu gweraawo obufumbo bwa kika kimu being registered with the DC. You would not say we are married because you must be one of the three, either customary or state, civil, I think they call it civil, or church, mosque. Or Hindu have also got their own system. Okay, thank you very much. But you have really done me a disservice. You have chased away the rain. Simanyi mukozesa ddogo ki abamawulire embeera bulijjo mbeera likire naye kati nkakasiza nti mulina eyirizi. Okay, you can go now. Thank you.